about something else. The Apostle Paul said that people can store up wrath for themselves for the day of judgment. That it was in accordance with their hardness and impenitent hearts. They were stubborn. They refused to come to God and repent of their evil deeds and their evil way of thinking and the fact that they're born into a sinful state, that they had to come to God for forgiveness, that they refused. He's making reference to both Jews and Gentiles, but the Jews were held more accountable because they were given the Torah. They were given the Pentateuch. They were given the laws of God. They were right there on Mount Sinai with Moses when they heard God themselves and told Moses, okay, you represent us. They were afraid of God because they actually heard God speak. They saw his glory and they heard him speak. And it was terrifying. So the people said, no, Moses, you approach God and you represent us before God, because they didn't want to approach him. They were too scared. So Moses did. Moses represented God to the people of Israel. But as you know, through Israel's history, many of them kept falling back into idolatry. They kept slipping away from following God to following their own devices and their own ways and following the pagan customs of the peoples around them. They were borrowing the religious practices of what they called the heathen. The heathen being those who worshipped other gods, who weren't circumcised, who weren't descendants of Abraham. Those are people that were, pretty engrossed in occultism. Some of them literally worship the devil. They worship Baal, a horned god called Baal, a Canaanite god, and they were worshiping that. They were devil worshippers. So there's nothing new. This 1960s, I forget his name, but the founder of the Satanic Church, his name escapes me, but he was pretty famous during the 60s and 70s for his coming up with his own Bible. But he repackaged it, but it's nothing new. They were doing the same. They have ancient texts from thousands of years ago where it shows them how to appease the devil with their sacrifices, so they can gain power for themselves and wealth and prosperity and beauty and all the things that are considered vain and self-serving and conceit. But God says he wants to be approached in humility, in honesty and integrity. And he's not into people who are out for just personal gain. He wants people to be sincerely devoted to him and to love him supremely and to love others genuinely, not synthetically or imitation, but the real deal.